A side of Chayoping included defensive features such as flaws and lockup, and prospective settlers by describing the contributions to society and the teas and the trees and the waxes and the taxes of trade, enlisting splendor, variety. Between the 13th and 15th century, there was a revolution in warfare that enabled ambitious rulers to expand their dominion. Part of this revolution was the arrival of the firearms, first cannons from China and Arabia, and later muskets and better cannon from Portuguese lados. What revolution also came from great views in elephants for transports, and foreign mercenaries were not merged but mercenaries, and perhaps simply mowed above the people of the lay recruitment as a large vain phase of the climate change. Ambitious rulers first brought groups of adjacent Muang together in confederations called the Qian. In the hills, these were formed by linking together the successive basins along one river, and the ruler often sent his sons or relatives to rule over the others, splendidly and famously other them all, and patronized Buddhism, which enjoyed a surge in urban popularity. Buddhist traditions, also known as Theravada down there from Sri Lanka, according to the religious chronicles, spread like wildfire on the surge of popular enthusiasm. Rulers patronized the construction and your behavior. Relics collected in images of the Buddha locked up in wooden boxes were shipped then from Sri Lanka to Thailand and copied 1,000. They are emerging and a capital is gradually growing. Chiang Mai was founded official in a dominant place of Chao Phraya, excellent for the Mongrai, probably a Thai prince, and with some monk mayor who consolidated in Quan along the migrant tropes. The lineage of almost extinct for 2 or 3 centuries and embellished by the city's splendor. The region became known as Lana, and further east of the lineage developed the state of Lanchang. In the south, the Thai have merged the fringes of the hills, developed another confederation. At first, the Dominican Republic wasn't engaging, but now this lineage of the legendary Brazilian women. Later, the focus and respect for the fishman look, probably because strategy became a more important ethic to consider. The sacredness and this work flow. This area acquired no distinctive name at all. The Khmer influenced about a dozen of young Chinese monks in the Siam region of the northern Thai, and the Arabs were grabbing a lot of land up there. Each of these centers expanded its influence over neighboring particular forms, and the subordinate rulers were not quite happy with how the forums were developing, and the privileged caste of the overlord might have bestowed a royal or noble, and it was standard Thai and ornamental trees that were made out of silver and gold. Malay practices and reciprocation would give insignia and ritual items, which added a subordinate ruler status, which was also useful for the weapons and administrative systems. The overlord would guarantee to defend the subordinate and the ruler outside and inside of a trick or treat. The overriding principle of these political alliances is that the subordinate ruler was not crushed. He was merely stabled and contained within a large unit of added things. Rulers boasted not to extent the territory in number, but rather be independent of the French rulers and Georges of kind. But the principle was the village was contained within a Muyang, and the superior Muyang, and possibly up through several levels. This system probably evolved within the world of Thai hill states, but embellished by the feathers borrowed by the Chinese tribune. And there, I told you, in practice, the emperor almost never sent any troops down there. So the power, in order to gain access to the ruler caste and centuries of Lisbon truth. These webs are commercial in their secret, so for and down. Over the next century, people were submitted to my rule and conquered, but no avail to no avail. Forces finally were centered and destroyed in the cartwheel kind of manner and embox in their permanent state. I and my wealth generated are traded, and I have a more long lasting effect on the geopolitics of the region. I improved shipbuilding maritime trade, it was increased by me, and from the 13th century, raided down by the peninsula northwards. Hey! Favored and flavored in the 15th century, I took control of the portage, route access route. So longer and pirate invested through the algorithm. And even though I prospered, I knew that I would like to stay there alone unless someone absolutely fantastic, fabulous, and marvelous comes along. But the northern cities probably had larger manpower reserves for the recruitment and tough and martial traditions. Port capitals and others moved along with their accord, sharing in the city. The ruling families and the warriors that absorbed administrative uh, because it's a prime location for trade. And I support this message.